All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to look past all the hype and talk about what it actually takes to build a real AI product. We're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden architecture that separates a cool little demo from a powerful, scalable system that truly works in the real world.
You know, when most of us think about AI, we see the fun part, right? The prompt. But the reality is, underneath that simple text box, there's this whole complex, intricate workflow that makes the magic happen. The gap between what we see and what's required is just massive.
And this is exactly where a lot of people get tripped up. They think that getting good at AI is just about getting really clever with prompts. But that's kind of like thinking you can write a great novel just because you know your ABCs. It's only the very beginning.
And this gets to the hard truth of building with AI. Honestly, having a brilliant idea, that's often the easy part. The real gritty challenge is the engineering, turning that amazing concept into a tough, scalable system that's ready for all the chaos of the real world.
So how do you actually bridge that huge gap between a great idea and a great product? Well, the answer lies in a specific, and I'd say increasingly critical role, the AI systems architect. This is the person who's literally designing the blueprint for the entire intelligent system.
So what does that actually mean? Well, an AI systems architect isn't just focused on the AI model. No, they're responsible for the whole shebang. They're thinking about how data gets in, how it gets processed, how the AI plugs into everything else, and, crucially, how the whole thing is going to scale. It's this really cool mix of hands-on, practical work and big-picture strategic design.
At its core, their job is all about translation. It's about taking a big, messy, maybe kind of vague idea and turning it into a clean, actionable technical strategy. This is the person who turns that, hey, what if we, into a rock-solid, okay, here's exactly how we're going to do it.
So we've talked about the who, but what does an AI architect actually build? I mean, what are the tangible things they create? Well, they construct the entire foundation of the system, what you could call intelligent infrastructure.
Here's a great way to think about it. The AI model, that's like the fancy penthouse suite in a skyscraper. It's the glamorous part everyone talks about. But that penthouse is completely useless without the foundation, the steel frame, the plumbing, the elevators. You get the idea. The AI architect, they're there to build the entire skyscraper, not just that one flashy room at the very top.
And to make that more real, here's some examples of what that infrastructure looks like. We're talking about things like frameworks that constantly go out and scrape the web for fresh data, or metadata pipelines. Think of that as a super organized mailroom for your data, making sure every piece is tagged and sent exactly where it needs to go. Even designing a prompt architecture that can actually scale is a huge infrastructure job. And look, any one of these is a major engineering project on its own.
Okay, so we've got the who and the what. But what about the how? How do they get this done? Let me tell you, it is not about endless meetings and drawing vague diagrams on a whiteboard. The approach is super structured, it's efficient, and it is all about execution.
I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't create a clean, elegant technical strategy out of total chaos. That's why a great AI blueprint always starts with a clear process. The whole point is to move systematically from that fuzzy, ambiguous idea to a very concrete plan of action. And that process really boils down to 3 core goals. First, you clarify the architecture. You map out every single moving part. Second, you identify the technical risks. You proactively go hunting for what could break. A classic one is bad data quality. It can quietly kill even the smartest AI models. And third, you define actionable next steps. And I mean truly actionable. Not some vague to-do list, but a real step-by-step implementation path.
So you go through all this structured thinking, you get all this deep technical guidance. What's the big payoff? What do you actually get at the end of the day for your project? Well, it all leads to one single crucial thing.
This whole process is designed to take all that complexity, all that risk, all that uncertainty, and distill it down to one powerful outcome. And that one thing is a concrete plan. That's it. That's the ultimate deliverable. It's the thing that moves you from just having a hunch or a cool vision to a well-defined strategy that your team can take and actually start building tomorrow. And with that plan, you walk away with 3 huge benefits. You get total clarity on your entire system, you get deep technical guidance, and you have a real implementation strategy. It's the final blueprint you absolutely need to build with confidence.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to think about for your own work. When you really look at your AI project, is it being built on a detailed, engineered blueprint? Or is it, if you're being honest,
kind of just a hunch, because the answer to that question could be the difference between a project that sounds cool in theory and one that actually changes the game in the real world.